next year, we plan to use that more effectively and hopefully take care of some salaries. We cannot put certified salaries in that because of the penalty. It's going to be up to 44.
44.68.
Okay, so 45% next year. So for every teacher, we're going to pay half their salary in penalties that we put in titles. So we don't want to put teachers in there because that would be basically a teacher aide salary every time we put a teacher in there, penalized. So here's kind of how it breaks down tentatively. We're over $500,000 in base salaries just in what we've cut so far, and that's with only 4 aides in there. Because I'd like to be a little under the mark and be happy than to overshoot our savings. So I've been trying to keep this as cautionary as possible. But when we look at textbooks and things, we've been working on this. We're only up to about $13,000 for next year, which is down. We're going to try to keep that one down. So we're just looking across the board. And the only reason I bring this up is it's not going to be just staff.
What we need, what we want to do.
We're looking, and the teachers have been working with us on that too. I mean, it seems like those are low this year because of this. So we're not done with that yet, but custodial supplies, we're going to have a meeting with all the custodians next week as far as ordering, and they're going to change the way they order, and it's all going to be online. Some of them aren't real excited about that, but what that's going to enable us to do is check that, and the order won't be placed until someone else confirms it, and that'll help us eliminate a lot of the variance.
That's good.
So we won't have one custodian using this type of soap and another one over here, because a lot of times by the time that comes to Debbie, it's too late. You know, so now we'll be able to check that a little bit sooner.
Yeah, and I bet you'll be able to consolidate what you're buying, and yeah.
Well, and a lot of them are excited about this too. Some of them are iffy on the computer part, but I think that's going to, just the fact that it goes through a double check kind of system is going to cut that down.
It's pretty easy.
So Sheila Snyder's coming down next week to train them on that. And then
Work with them.
we still don't have anything on health insurance, but we're waiting to hear that. We're trying to crunch the numbers there to see if there's any savings there, or at least it doesn't go up anymore. The property insurance, you know, I told you earlier, we took a big hit on that this year because of our claim. So this year our loss ratio went up to 950%. Just to give you an idea, you want that to be around 80%, somewhere in that neighborhood. So our 5-year loss ratio is still at almost 300%, and that's one of the reasons our insurance company dropped us. They chose not to renew Hanover, so we're going to have to really try to look at that. But our guy that is working on that says he has a competitive rate. Who was that from, Debbie?
That's from Unisa's house rate.
Yeah.
Insurance.
Who's the company that he was looking at to replace them? I can't remember what he said, but he was very optimistic about that.
There was Wright, but there was someone else.
I can't remember.
I don't remember who he said. Oh,
It was something like, there's a big one, but
yeah, it was another big, it wasn't just like a fly-by-night one.
our total premiums there this year were $400,000, $399 or something. So if we're hoping to keep that down or keep it from going up a lot, odds are it's going to go up because of our claim.
How long will the 290, how long will we be in that high risk?
Well, it's a 5-year ratio, the report they look at. And one of the reasons it's so high is because we have 2 tornado damage claims on that 5 years. We have Brookport and the primary building. So 2 more years, Brookport will drop off, and that'll help. But we still have that big, you know, it's the bigger ones at the primary, and that's 5 years.
5 years, you drop it correct.
Yeah, so we just have 5 years for that one, I believe. So we're looking at that.
How many years we went to district and tornado never hit a school?
I know.
And now we have.
To have 2 in the same 5-year cycle is pretty crazy. And that's one of the things that Kyle Shrewsbury that she mentioned is trying to say. This is not a typical claim loss ratio for us. This is atypical. But you know, they just look at the numbers. They want to make money. You know, so the athletic cuts that we're going to look at later equal about $18,000. That's just from the high school. There will be other ones. Obviously, we're going to have to look at. So you can't just do it. But the high schools were mostly athletic money spent. So we're looking at that too across the board. We're also looking at some energy cuts. I talked to Mayor McDaniel this afternoon. They do have some matching grants. We just have to look at it. He was worried that it wouldn't be enough to accommodate like the high school. The high school's lighting was put in 1981, and obviously, we could cut that way down. We looked at it today. It's $40,000 per month just for electricity for the whole district, but the high school is somewhere in the neighborhood of $13,000 to $14,000 a month just for electricity. That's not gas, nothing else. So if we could do some LED lighting, it's very costly to change over, but if we could, that would drastically cut our energy use, I think. That's what everyone's telling me. So we're looking at that. And then the services, we've got a couple that people have mentioned even before we started looking at this. We have a laundry service we use. It doesn't amount to a whole lot, but it would help to save some money, and we can take care of that ourselves. We also have some maintenance contracts we're looking at to see if we want to continue those. So we're obviously just, again, trying to look at all the areas. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and that's all I had on that part of it. Does anybody have any questions on it? It's kind of what we went over with the teachers the other day. Any questions or comments?
They pretty good.
Yeah, actually, we had a lot of suggestions for other areas to look at. So, and rather than, there was nothing really negative
Good.
that I saw. So it was all very healthy. And again, they've been very helpful in trying to figure this out. And some of these transfers that we're going to deal with here in a little bit, I can't tell you how easy that made that for them to be willing to do some of those things. They, not necessarily something they want, so I think that should be noted.
You need to go to unfinished business? Do we have any unfinished business?
I don't think so.
I need a motion, I gotta go over the motion on that too,
No, just
No.
for the, we gotta go down and get this.
Okay, new business. Looks like we got, first of all, the approval for the food bids.
That should be in your packet. One of the things Mary Jacobs told me is she's having, there's, I guess, kind of like we found in transportation, fewer and fewer companies willing to bid on these things, so we didn't have maybe as many as we would have liked.
I don't think last year,
Yeah.
we're getting, yeah.
A couple of the big ones, the way she explained it to me, and I don't remember the names, but they were bought out by a large group, and this one company owns several of them we used to use, like Fox River Food and things. So,
It actually, it's about two big names, so we will go with
I
these.
think they all kind of want to stay in their own areas and
Bread,
keep the price up.
so you'll need a motion to approve.
They get, down here too.
I need a motion to approve the bids if you looked over them real carefully.
I'll make the motion for the food bids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Second.
Second. Lisa, roll call please.
Mr. Bruger?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes. Okay, we're going to go to the student picture bid.
Should be Light Touch in there, I think, that's who we've been using, and they do an exceptional job. I was talking to Mr. Walker earlier, they work with us, getting the pictures imported to our student management system. We have no complaints with them, personally.
Anybody have any comment?
I'll make the motion that we accept Light Touch for the
Yeah, I'll second it.
student pictures.
Lisa, roll call please.
Mr. Bruger?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes. Next to the 2016-17 financial school calendar.
No, student.
Oh,
Student.
We're at student insurance.
Oh, okay, there it
That's
is.
right there, yeah.
Student insurance bid. Have you had a chance to look at that?
Need to start marking these out.
This is probably going in line with last year. Is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the same company we used last year or not.
I think it is.
Sounds good. It doesn't vary too long.
There's something to encourage though.
I don't know.
That I send it every year for them, and I just wasn't getting it. The district actually pays so much for each kid. And it's still closing. I don't know that. Oh, yeah, I talked to Parker too.
Yeah, how many kids do we have get student insurance on the average? Hardly any.
It's not very many.
I don't remember. We might have had one or two at junior high year, maybe.
And it's probably one of the best insurance deals you can get for as cheap as it is, in case something happens.
Right.
We always try to talk our high school parents, even if they have insurance, getting it on top of it, because it's just, it's such a good policy, it's cheap. We still have very few that do it.
I make a motion that we accept Gerlach and Associates with the student insurance.
Second?
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bruger?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Roaching?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes.
All right, now-
Approval for the 2016 final school calendar.
I made a copy that's a little easier to read if you guys want one.
I do like that.
This is the calendar that the teachers selected when they voted, so nothing's changed. I believe we already presented this a while back, we just have to submit it now. So, this is the,
17,
Oh, no, it's all right.
oh, wait, oh, I'm sorry, this is the 16, 17, yeah, we gotta do that, I'm sorry. This is next year. Sorry.
Okay. Hold it.
The only thing we changed on the 16, 17
Snow
was,
emergency breaks. Snow.
okay, and then the half day, we put that on there.
That would be 60
Right.
this year.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's a new one in here.
Yeah, it's in
Right.
there.
Yeah.
And that always, we have to do the last, every year, the
Well, that's
last
hard
day
to
or
see
two.
now, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the
School calendar.
school calendar as presented.
Second? I'll second. Lisa, roll call, please.
Mr. Bruger?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Roaching?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes. Going to the MCHS athletic cost reduction.
Yeah, and we've kind of been looking at this for a while. I think we lost our home tennis courts. Our participation is down, so we have some recommendations for some assistant coaches that we've hired recently, and 2 head coach positions for the tennis program, which would essentially end that tennis program for now. Of course, we could always come back and open it back up. One of the problems is we would have to play an all-away season for tennis if we continue to offer it, which would drive up the transportation costs even more, because we can't play home matches now without tennis courts. And we looked at building tennis courts is not economically feasible at this time, obviously. So the athletic cost reductions that we would need to make a motion on are the 2 head coaches for boys and girls tennis at MCHS, an assistant coach for boys basketball, an assistant coach for girls basketball, an assistant coach for baseball, and an assistant coach for softball.
They were eliminating,
Yes.
and they're all high school.
They're all high school, and all the assistant coaches were added within the last 3 years. Remember when we added those? That's why they're on there, plus the 2 head coaches for tennis, is what we're recommending cutting for next year. It's a total of $15,000 in stipend savings, and then there's an added $3,000 to $5,000 in travel expenses that we would save from cutting the tennis programs. So we're looking at $18,000 to $20,000 in savings. Low number 8.
Do these people know? Are they,
Yeah,
you talk to them?
we've talked to all of them. Not all of them real happy about it, but one of the things we're looking at, the boys and girls tennis obviously are different, but all the assistant positions, none of them will be losing their jobs. We're just going to absorb some people, and some people are going to be splitting stipends, so they're still going to be involved in the programs, aside from anyone that's resigned, prior. So we would need a motion.
We need a motion to eliminate boys tennis head coach, girls tennis head coach, boys basketball assistant coach, girls basketball assistant coach, baseball assistant coach, and softball assistant coach, all of them in the high school. Need a motion to
Eliminate those.
eliminate those positions.
next year.
I'll make it. I,
Need a
I'll
second?
second,
I'll
I'll
second.
second it.
Second. Lisa, roll call.
Mr. Berger.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Ms. Larison.
Yes.
Ms. Rushing.
yes.
Mr. Summer.
Yes.
Ms. Steele.
Yes.
Mr. Sanders.
Yes. Next one's, support,
While we're on
okay.
athletics, how many assistants do we have on football? It seems like we have a lot of people out there.
We have more, it seems like more because most of those stipends are split.
Okay,
But we do split a lot of those, just because there's more, that supervise more kids. So that if you break it down by coach per amount of student participation, it's not really
Okay.
out of whack, but I can get that number to you.
well, that's
always-
fine,
That's always a question.
I just wondered if we were gonna eliminate any of those.
Yeah, we didn't recommend those at this time because they've been there for a lot longer. These assistant coach positions that we've recommended, and there are dollar amounts to the side. I have to show Debbie and Jamie because there's certain ones, but they're the newest ones that we've added.
Okay, that's fine.
There's five allowed
Yeah,
right now.
five stipends.
Yeah, five
Yeah.
those.
But we have more like
Yeah.
7 or 8 or.
There's a couple of them
yeah,
that split.
that we split.
And I know people volunteer too.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of people you see on the sideline.
Right, and that's good.
Are volunteers.
Yeah,
Volunteer for 11 years.
yeah,
Volunteers,
yeah. Yeah, we have several, Patrick Howe, I don't know, he's been volunteering as far as health and condition, and he's been
Yes.
doing a phenomenal job. He puts a lot of hours in for nothing. On the support personnel, we talked about before, I also talked about this briefly when we met with the staff last Wednesday. I'm going to recommend that we discontinue several support personnel positions for the 17-18 school year so that we can create some new positions in line with the new title plan that we're writing, so that we can basically introduce some new interventions to align with that plan and utilize that title money more effectively. And also, we're hoping to target our interventions early to cut down on some of the referrals to special education and things that's also increasing over the last 3 years. So a lot of these people in their current positions, they do similar interventions, but we're going to have to streamline those interventions and align them to our new plan because the No Child Left Behind is going away. We have the Every Student Succeeds Act coming into play with those requirements and guidelines. So we have to create a new plan, align it with what they want, which is very similar to No Child Left Behind. But we're going to have to redo kind of our supports and interventions. So really the main reason for doing this is to create new positions that have the intervention-specific duties and responsibilities built into it. So we
Can you
won't,
give us an example?
we won't be eliminating any jobs.
I know.
For example, we have a building aide, we call them probably right now, at, for example, Franklin, that does some of the library duties, also pulls kids out for interventions with reading. It'll be, that person will have a new position title with some new responsibilities with more specific interventions, maybe. Same kind of thing. They're already doing some of this, but we're going to have to eliminate those positions so that we create these new ones in line with our new plan. So we're not eliminating any jobs here for next year. We're eliminating the positions so that we can go back and create those new positions that are more in line with the new plan we're going to create. We're going to probably have all that done by the June meeting. That's our goal. So we'll hopefully have those new positions in place then. And that'll ease everybody's minds. But I think we've communicated that to all the teachers' aides. So we're not cutting teachers' aides. We're going to eliminate these positions and create the equal number of positions, just more in line with our intervention strategies and our new title plan that we have to create. So, does that make sense? And I think everybody, I hope everybody understands that. So everybody's still going to be working, next year. We just have to redo these positions. And I'm sure we did something similar when No Child Left Behind hit, because we had a whole new set of rules that we had to live by. So the support personnel that I'm talking about are 3 pre-K teacher aides. Obviously, we've eliminated the pre-K program, so we won't need those positions like they are. There's a PE teacher aide, I believe is how it was labeled originally at junior high, that's no longer needed for that spot. And then the building aides that I'm talking about, where the roles will just shift a little bit. We have 1 at junior high, 2 at MES, 1 at Brookport, 2 at Unity, 2 at Jefferson, and 2 at Franklin. That would be shifting, 2 at Brookport. That would be shifting roles, counting that one technology job at Brookport as a home base. Then there's a kindergarten aide at MES that does interventions already, but that's another one. And then the technology aide at the MES. So when you put it all together, we're talking about 17 aide positions that we're going to be eliminating so that we can create 17 new ones. So we would need a motion to eliminate those 17 positions. I think I wrote it out there.
Right. So need a motion to eliminate the 17 positions so we could, for support personnel positions for the 2017, 2018 school year. So,
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Got a second? Lisa?
Mr. Bruger,
Yes.
Mr. Cook,
Yes.
Ms. Larison,
Yes.
Ms. Rushing,
Yes.
Mr. Summer,
Yes.
Ms. Steele,
Yes.
Mr. Sanders.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I've got them over here. Action, closed session. Resignations first.
Okay.
Once.
The closed session is personnel things we had to take care of. On resignations, we had Luke Caparelli, Metropolis Junior High baseball. He's resigned with the family. Okay. Jenna Harner, MCHS Assistant Cheer Coach. Tim Lawson, MCHS Boys Soccer Head Coach. Parker Windhorst, MCHS Boys Basketball Assistant Coach. Renee Newbold, MES Teacher's Aide. Frederica Hessigen, Brookport Teacher's Aide. And Sarah Wessel, MES Principal. These were the resignations that we got. Need a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bruger,
Yes.
Mr. Cook,
Yes.
Ms. Larison,
Yes.
Ms. Rushing,
Yes.
Mr. Summer,
Yes.
Ms. Steele, Mr. Sanders.
Yes. Okay, retirement, there was none. New employment was none. Going down to position transfers. Llewellyn Davis to Franklin Elementary, split classroom for 2017 to 2018. Corin Dow to MJHS Special Education Resource for 2017, 2018. Julie Cagle to MES third grade for 2017, 2018. Julie Rushing to MES Julie Russell to MES Cross Category Special Education for 2017, 2018. Okay.
Yeah, that's all that.
I think that's all we've got. Larry, anybody got anything?
You can put it under other.
No, we'll talk about it, get on the next agenda, what we talked about.
Whatever.
On the other, do have one question, I'd like more clarification on this. How come that we have public comment in the 5th position? I can't find it anywhere in bylaws or anything else. We do not have it after we have all this, so there can be public comment. What they gotta do is they gotta have public comment before we do any action. Then if they got something to say, they gotta wait till the next meeting to have it, right? Is there somewhere that public comment has to be in that position?
No, I think we could put it wherever we want it, I believe.
In the training class.
Yep, you have to have public comment, but it's a standard procedure, it's always before the meeting, so that
Because
it's,
since I've been here, that's how it's always.
Well,
I know, but
when I went to the training up in Chicago, they had it at the very front in their training session. They had that public comment at the very front in the training go down.
but what we're saying is, if you have a question about anything we do, you gotta wait till the next meeting to have public comment.
Yeah, probably so.
The way it's set up now, yes. That's the way it's.
Well, and also, public comment, that you don't answer them, they just make comments.
That's right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but, you probably like to have that comment, so you have a month, I mean, all that does is drag things out. I'd move the adjourn.
So what about could they
Yeah.
I mean, does anybody have comments,
Hmm?
think tonight?
Well, I'm just saying, you know,
I think if the board wanted to, we can move that around wherever we want.
Okay, that's
I don't think
fine.
that
I was just asking.
I don't.
we, we could probably put that where,
I was just asking about it.
I'll double check on
I'm
it.
just kinda curious, 'cause I can't find anything where it says it has to be at the beginning of the meeting.
No,
Anyway.
I just think that's normal protocol.
Got a motion to adjourn, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Lisa, roll call please.
Mr. Berger, Mr. Cook,
Yes.
Ms. Larison,
Yes.
Ms. Rushing,
Yes.
Mr. Summer,
Yeah.
Ms. Steele,
Yes.
Mr. Sauer.
Yes. Thank you all.